log in.
All right. What's going on, y'all? We back with another one, another episode on, and I'm standing on it, man. Y'all know we got the regular faces back on here, man. Shout out to that boy Reflection, he back. See, he already
I'm in this thing, baby. I'm in there. I'm in here.
He gonna start off game banging. Y'all see that?
I'm in here. Y'all know I gotta be ignorant straight out the gate. I gotta be ignorant.
Out the gate.
We got that boy Legend, man. He back, y'all.
Yo, what's good with it?
LG, what up, LG?
What's good?
And we got the little up and coming man, artist out the Bay, Rolly Fix, man. He started to become a regular out here. What up, boy?
What's happening?
Why you want to jump into the frying pan, huh? Why you want to jump into the frying pan?
Hey, look, I'm kicked back burning this player leaf, man. It's a new leaf that's about to drop.
Here you go.
Yeah, man.
I just saw y'all, so we just gonna go ahead and we'll get on into it, man. So, you know, the title of the episode, man, is "Are Gangs Destroying Black Communities?" I know there's a lot of stuff been going on lately that we've been seeing on the news when it's coming to a lot of gangs within the streets. For instance, they had the big thing out there on Figueroa in LA with the Hoovers. They all got busted with that RICO of sex trafficking the girls out there, man, on Fig. They all just got arrested going through that. I know y'all aware of all the stuff that's been going on in Chicago for the last few years now, how bad that got. Yeah. We've been seeing all the different murder trials and what's been going on, the snitching allegations taking place out in Atlanta, you know what I mean, with Young Thug and all them guys, man, and Woody and all that, man. So it just seemed like no matter where we looking, man, it's the gang culture kind of taking over everywhere, man. And I know every gang is not just strictly Bloods and Crips, but you know, every city, every state has their problems. But you know, coming where y'all from, what was it like, man? Like, what was some gang things that was going on in your area? You might not been in your neighborhood if y'all lived in maybe suburb areas, so who knows where y'all live, but I'm still sure that y'all seen and witnessed certain things. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start off with Reflection, man, and see what you got to say about it.
You know, the Black Panthers was doing initiation in Watts. I was born in Watts, right? So my oldest brother, my dad said he had a dream to keep us kids in the house this particular day. So my dad left the house. He instructed my mom keep the kids inside. My oldest brother went to my mom. My mom is doing house chores, and he said, "Mom, I'm hot. Can I go outside?" My mom said, "No." Dad said, "Stay inside." So he kept beckoning and begging my mom, and my mom said, "Okay, just sit on the porch." So a few minutes later, my mom is doing her domestic chores, and Chris is quiet. Shout out to my brother Chris. So she comes to the screen door, and Chris is slumped over. So she leaves and goes back to her chores because she thinking Chris is doing chalk on the concrete of the steps or whatever. So she comes back to check on him again. He's still slumped over in that position. She finally pushed open the screen door and checked him, raised him up, and he was gushing. One bullet made 11 holes and hit one bullet, zigzag. And called ambulance, everything like that. Well, it was a stray bullet from the Black Panthers. They were doing this initiation thing that particular day. And my dad was a Pentecostal preacher, so that's why he had this dreams before he left the house and told my mom, keep kids in the house. I respect how gangs originated, but where is that now? I think it's the most chaotic way to live every day in suicidal mode. I think it's just as equivalent to you playing Russian roulette in your room, pulling the trigger with every click until that bullet hits. I don't believe there's anything profitable, anything educational. There's no unity. There's no loyalty. There's nothing positive you can get out of today's gangs. And nigga, I don't know you. Who the fuck are you to tell me what I can buy with my money? Who the fuck are you to tell me if my son likes baseball, I can buy him a C baseball cap? Maybe he's Oakland A's. I can't buy him that because you telling me that. I think gangs are dictators. They're just like Hitler. They're trying to dictate the free world. And this is not even a free world, but I'm not in jail, nigga. You're not gonna tell me what I can wear. You're not gonna dictate to me about my dress code or none of that. For what? So that's my take on gangs, and that's just a start off. I got no respect for today's gangs at all.
Gotcha. So where was this Black Panther Party taking place at? What city was that?
Watts. It was in Watts, Linwood.
So when they moved down to LA.
I was born 1971, so it was a few years into that. And it was heavy back then with the Watts riots and shit. So they was heavy troopers in the streets, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure, with Legend, man. I know you from a whole nother coast, man. So you being from the East Coast in New York.
Right.
I'm sure y'all now, I'm starting from what I've seen, I know the whole Crip and Blood gangs started moving that way now. And so I know they are established there. But I know y'all had other probably gangs too going on out there too, way before they came out there. But what's your experience on that, man, as far as the neighborhoods and the culture, man, and what's been going on out that way?
Crazy shit. It's like I came up, my era was like, I came up in the era where there was no Bloods and no Crips in New York. You know what I'm saying? There was none of that shit even existed in New York at that time. I joined my first gang. I think I was like 14, 15. It was like the way gangs move in New York. Like I said, there was no flags. There was no red and blue, none of that shit. It was just each neighborhood. Pretty much, we just protected ourselves and protected our peoples in our neighborhood. And if any kind of static came around there, then it was smoke. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I joined my first gang. I was like 14, 15. It was Hellraisers. You know what I'm saying? I joined it, and there was some older guards. You know what I'm saying? They just seen something to me. They was like, yo, it was good and whatever. So I joined the shit. And I went from that to starting my own little gang when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? A&S and then SHN and you know what I'm saying? All these other niggas and all that type of shit. And then you know, like I said, it was mostly because the gang that I started it with two of my homies in high school. It was kind of similar to the way gangs were operating in New York. It's not even gangs. It was just a crew. I'm gonna say crews. We wasn't gang banging. We was crews. You had your crew. If any problems, you call your mans up or whatever. So it was the same shit because when I was in high school, it was some dudes that was coming from some other high schools and some older dudes. And they used to come over to my high school and bully shit. You know what I'm saying? They was a bully footing niggas from my high school. So I was like, yo, man, fuck them niggas. Like, let's protect ours. So it was the same mentality. So in the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? The politics with gangs and or whatever have you is we was really on that shit just to protect ourselves. And that's how it was when I was in high school, when I started my own shit. Same thing when I was in Brooklyn, started my own crew with niggas that I was running with down there and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was just, yo, we gonna hold our own. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much that's what it was. I remember when the Bloods and the Crips, it wasn't even Crips, it was Bloods. I remember when Bloods first came to New York, son, you would see police on
what year was that?
Damn, it was somewhere in the mid 90s. I can't remember exactly. It was like early 90s. It was so crazy. It took New York by storm. That blood shit took New York by storm because you would see police on the beat out in the streets. They still in the academy uniform. They ain't even graduate from the academy yet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how chaotic that shit got when the Bloods came to New York. There was no Crips, any of that shit. And them, they was wilding the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what my experience is. I joined gangs when I was, you know, so I jumped off the porch, as they say, when I was a teenager. I did my fair share, ignorant shit. Sometimes I reflect on it and be like, you know what, I did some really stupid shit, man. Some of it I regret. Most of it I don't, because it made me who I am today. And if I could do it all over again, I would probably do some of that shit all over again. But the most ignorant shit I ever did, I probably would never do that shit looking back on it. You know what I'm saying? Just the most ignorant parts, because all the other shit, man, it just hardened me up and it prepared me for the real world once I got out there. You know what I mean? So.
So we got my boy Rolly, man. I know you from the Bay Area, from Oakland, man. So I know in the Bay, you know, we don't have no Crips and Bloods out there. So It's probably a different experience. So you probably had neighborhood or blocks, I should say, different blocks and turfs and stuff like that for their gangs, man. So I mean, what you experienced growing up, man, and the impact it might have had on the neighborhood.
Man, I experienced getting jumped. You feel me? And I ain't talking about jumped in. You know, I didn't got my ass whooped out of nowhere, fucking with the streets. But you know, America thrive off gangs. It go all the way back to y'all remember, I don't know if y'all seen that show called Gangs of New York with the white
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you feel me? The beginning of this shit, that's what America thrive off of. So me
Yeah.
personally, the Bay ain't never got into no flag throwing on, you feel me, so shit like that, no cripping and blood. We never got involved in that. We usually turfing. I'm from Brockhurst, I'm from West Oakland. So it was a lot of shit going on in the streets, you know, but it wasn't no gang banging. But now there's gang banging going on right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it
well,
ain't the same in California no more.
Case.
well, we know
Case
we know
news.
we got the KKK. We know we got the Boys in Blue. So that's a more structured and solidified political gang. But I feel we got to take care in house first. So it's internal what we're dealing with first because most of these gangs are structured to genocide us ourselves. Like it's demobilizing our black race on all levels. We fucking our women up. We fucking the female structure up of the home, and then the seed that she's raised, and he comes into that. And I know it's a lot of failure. That a lot of kids need some type of
Single mother.
stability. They need to feel worth. They need to feel like they're important. So a lot of these young kids are joining gangs. So I understand that. But I just feel one of the most unhealthiest ways to live your life as a child growing into something is a gang. Because there's nothing healthy coming out of a gang at all.
Well, you know what you just said in that reflection. We done had past episodes where we talked about single moms. We talked about the kids growing up in a single parent home. What you just said kind of made some sense, and it had me just thinking about like, let's just say the kids is going to the gangs, they become adults and stuff like that, and then you're out here, you know, still participating as a grown man. You know what I mean? And it also in our community, I can't put it all 100% on the men either, because in our community we do have women out here looking for men like that. That they attracted to the bad boys and the guys that's living that life. Well, as adults, continue to do what they do. You know, you get arrested, you get taken away. Now you're going to take away from that woman. You're going to take away from your kids and all that. Now you creating a single parent household, which she's still responsible for that too, because that's the type of man you chose. All right. But then say when you get out of jail, we also had an episode talking about how hard it is for men to get back on their feet once they get released. You know what I'm saying? So then even with that
It
pressure,
ain't hard.
you get the women that sit there and be like, oh, you know, and they get to talking that shit. Oh man, you don't bring no money. You ain't got this. Oh, we struggling. If they hang that over your head, some bounce out or some want to stick around and, you know, kind of belittle you. You know what I mean? Then it make a nigga want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired. You ain't gonna keep talking to me like this. You know what I'm saying? But
You lost your damn mind.
yeah. But see,
Well,
some men,
if I were to rewrite a part of the dictionary, if you can find gang in the dictionary, I would put separation right under that because that's what gangs are doing nowadays. I know how they were established, and I know I'm probably the oldest nigga on this panel, but gangs were established to protect the neighborhood from the outside problems. You know, look out for the women, the mothers, the kids, make sure they're protected. And then when the young vultures initiated themselves into it, they outrooted the old heads, and then everything was chaos. So the young niggas just went rogue. But if you look at gang, you need to attach separation under that because that's all these gangs do. They're built and structured to separate us niggas against niggas, us black men against us black men. That's why when you see another nigga out, you pass him up, you rarely speak to him because there's this assumed disconnect of a problem. We got a problem. Is there a problem? There's this subliminal thing in our head when I see another black dude, whether I'm coming out of Walmart or out of Target or whatever. if I see another nigga, there's this aggression that seems like it's in the air, assumed in the air, you know. So most of that comes from the energy from what gang of separation is established amongst us
Okay, well,
black.
why do you think people are joining gangs? What's your reason why they
I,
joining them? Even
I
right
feel
now, I
I
want to talk
feel
about 71.
Reflection.
for a lot of vanity reasons for sure, because a lot of niggas look at it as a bag. Because if you look at the situation with Dolph, rest in peace to Dolph. If you look at the situation with Vaughn, if you look at the situation with Mo 3, a lot of these are bags. So a lot of niggas are in it for a bag. If you got that bag and you will pay a nigga, he definitely know he can capitalize off of that murder. So a
Hey,
lot of it's for vanity reasons. And then a
reflection.
lot of it's for clout. If I ever had blood on my hands, you would never know it. These niggas are talking about how many bodies they done caught for what? Anytime you murder somebody, why would you even let that leak out? For
Hey,
what?
I got a question for you.
What you say,
So,
Roller?
you from Watts, right?
I'm not from there. I was born there.
Okay, you was born in Watts. So Watts, niggas in projects. So a kid is born in niggas in projects. He got it. What are you gonna do? You born in them projects. What are you gonna do? You're going to become your environment.
That's fact.
That's true.
It depends on your home, because there's nobody that can touch your
Sometimes at
mindset.
home,
There's
sometimes at home can't do it.
right, but I'm saying you. So you have to blame the home, because nobody can structure your mindset outside of your father and your mother. They're
He
they're
said,
that
"What,
structure from
brother?" He
birth.
said, "What if you got the?" He said, "What if you got Lawrence Fishburne as your daddy from Boys in the Hood?"
But even
See,
even
and
then, he spoke
hey,
some jewels.
cool. Hey,
Even
Cuban
then,
get
he
a
spoke
G
some
for real.
jewels.
And he didn't join the gang.
He didn't, but
Yeah,
he wasn't
He kicked it
in
with
the
him.
projects. He wasn't literally in the projects. I'm talking about literally in Nickerson projects. You will
but you know,
become, you will become your
but the
environment.
but the answer but the answer to that is you know right from wrong, from jump.
Yeah, for sure.
You know right from wrong, and wrong will never feel right, and right will never feel wrong.
Yeah,
Now I get what you're saying as far as the environment. So the nigga jump off the porch, as they call it. So he jump off the porch. What's going to really impact his direction on where he's going is depending on his personal struggle. A lot of niggas join gangs because they ain't got shit going on in school. They ain't got shit going on in the home. They see all that garbage between their father and their mother. They ain't got shit going on with their brothers and nothing like that. So they're not getting no love and no connection at home or who they're hanging out with. So obviously they're going to venture out and have this thirst for a greater energy outside, in which is the streets are going to give. Nobody can match the energy of the streets. So that's going to be your greatest seduction and seducing of anybody, because you want that life, you want the jewels, you want the money. That's pretty much why niggas join gangs, for
Well,
vanity
a lot
reasons.
of. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of growing up, a lot of dudes that was in gangs, they was broke. I don't just keep it 100. They was broke. I didn't see too many niggas that had no real bread. You know what I mean? Now, if you're
But
talking about today, I see, which I don't understand, when you see people like a Chris Brown and a Soldier Boy and all these people that was down there pushing 30 want to join a blood gang. I don't get that. When you got men getting older and they want to get out the gang, and y'all want to be 30-year-olds joining the gang, like that made no sense to me. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
think them niggas is joining shit,
that's
man.
understandable.
That shit is just for clout. It's like Sunset, like the Chris Browns and the Soldier Boys. That shit is for clout. You're not really joining a gang. When you join the gang, you start, the first thing you do when you join the gang is get active. Am I not right? Them
Yeah.
niggas was never active. You just wait till you 30 to get active. That's a lie. It's just for clout, my nigga. Ain't nobody
yeah,
getting active at 30.
yeah.
Like I said, most niggas it's like the homie said, man. Like, you born into certain neighborhoods and shit, nigga. You either gonna be part of it or you gonna be affiliated. And that's just my take on that shit. You know what I'm saying? You probably ain't gonna be rocking no flag on the left or the right side or whatever, but you gonna be tied in because that's who you live amongst. And to some extent, you definitely gonna become a product of that environment. But like Reflection said, like, I gotta disagree with what Reflect said, because You can't say why niggas join gangs, man. Everybody join that shit for a different reason. That's not why I never joined. I'd have been a part of at least 4 or 5 gangs, whether I joined another nigga gang, whether I started my own shit in the Bronx, Brooklyn, wherever. And it was all for not for any of the reasons that you're talking about. And another thing I wanted to point out is like Ben said, bro, when I was my niggas in Brooklyn, we wasn't active like that. We was a gang. Niggas had their own DAP and all that shit like that. We did all that shit what niggas normally do, but we was getting money. You see what I'm saying? So
what was the logic of you running the gang?
We was hustlers more than we were gang bangers. We was smashing niggas, and yeah, we was outlaw affiliated and we was blood affiliated. Some of us knew Crips and Canarsie and all that shit too, because I'm in Canarsie in Brooklyn. I'm from the same hood as say Pop Smoke and them niggas. So that's all my stopping grounds, my nigga. So we know a lot of niggas that's out there. Plus, you got the Haitians out there bugging the fuck out too. It ain't just Bloods and Crips. That's how New York is, because before the Bloods and Crips, we already had Panamanians. We had the Jamaicans out there is running crazy and shit. Like, we got a lot of other shit going on besides red and blue flags. So no matter where you at, wherever you grow up at, son, you gonna get affiliated one way or another. But ain't no nigga joining no gang for no bag, because if you join the gang, you banging. You're not joining.
I said that was one reason. So empowerment, is that why you joined the gang? To feel powerful? Did you join the gang to feel powerful?
No, I never felt the need to feel powerful. I already knew what my strength was and the people that I was around. So I don't need to feel powerful. It was never for me to bully nothing. I did a lot of.
What was your reason? Just to get a bag?
It wasn't to bully foot niggas. You know what I'm saying? It was, I joined just so I'm good. I'm in the fucking Bronx, nigga. I'm in Brooklyn. Like, I'm gonna make sure I'm good. I'm gonna make sure I'm running with a strong ass team of niggas. And it's not, and I'm not saying we wasn't flipping niggas and none of that shit and doing no ignorant shit just for no reason. But for most part, we was just chilling. And like I said, when I was in Brooklyn, my niggas we was about getting bread. We wasn't out there gang banging like that. You know what I'm saying? So being part of a gang when I was, and plus I was older then. When I was in the gang shit in Brooklyn, I already had left the Bronx, and I'm an older nigga now. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in my 20s, early 30s and shit like that. So I'm about getting bread now. I was already making out of town moves and all of that shit. So I ain't joining no gang or always fucking with niggas that's running the streets and gang banging. There's no money in gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Look, even when I was a stick up kid, that shit was petty bread. There's no real money in that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I did that shit before I started really making moves like that. You know what I'm saying? But
there's no real nothing in being in a gang,
together, bro. Say what?
There's no LG. There's no real nothing being in a gang. There's what positivity can come out of being in a gang. You're focusing on monetario. There is no role model. There is no role model that you can yank out of a gang member. Only an ex-gang member. There is no active gang member right now that you can say this is a role model.
I get that, bro. I get that. But listen, the truth of the matter is this, fam. I get what you're saying, fam. I honestly do. But people join gangs for different reasons. Some people join gangs for protection. Some people, whatever the fuck it is, my nigga. I'd never join a gang for protection. You know what I'm saying? Some people do. The way New York is, we ain't gonna be born into no shit where it's like, nigga, you getting caught up whether you try to avoid it or not. It's not how. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's different reasons. You can't say why New York niggas join gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now we got a lot of similar shit, but it's not like the politics out in New York is not like the politics out in Cali. It's totally different. So trust me, man, when I tell you, people join gangs for different reasons, bro.
But the thing is with me,
not everybody that's part of a gang is an active ass nigga neither. Because I had niggas we did the DAP and all of that, but them niggas wasn't active. They wasn't active like that. You know what I'm saying? I had niggas in my circle that wasn't getting it popping like that. Trust me.
But your foundation is still under that kill mode. Your foundation is still established that when you see another color, you're on go. Why is that though? Because what if that person is not even on that type of time?
Hey, yo,
But that's
it
the type of
depends,
time
bro.
you're on because that's the foundation you under. It's the most of it is a negative mindset and environment, and it's not healthy for you to process your daily life. When I worked in Times Square, I worked at Dave and Buster's in the heart of Times Square. Right, I
Mhm.
get off. My homie is heavy in the streets. He say, "Hey, let's ride." I ride with him. We hop the train. We go to Jamaica, Queens. He tapped me and say, "Hey, tuck that chain." I was confused by that.
Okay,
Why do I have to readjust my personal self when we get off that train? For who?
that's called street
And
politics.
and and I went ahead and did it. I went ahead and did it to accommodate him. But I honestly didn't want to do it. Why am I doing this for niggas I don't know? What right do you have to tell me where I can move and where I can't move? I'm not in jail. This
It
is a
don't
free
matter though,
world. I
son.
should be able to go
Look,
wherever the fuck I want to go.
listen,
It ain't
listen,
no
listen.
different.
Let
And
me
this is
just say
not
something real quick.
Vietnam. I'm
Hold on,
not
let me just
fighting.
say something real quick,
I'm
son.
not fighting war.
Look, I get that, but when I'm in my hood, I'm comfy. I got chains out and all of that shit. Nigga had the Gucci links like Slick Rick. I had all that shit, bro. Trust me, I promise you. Anybody from New York niggas get on here tell you I don't cap. But when I leave my block, I'm in a different mindset. I know I can't, nigga. You better be watching over your shoulder. You
So
rocking
that's the
jewels.
negative I'm speaking of.
So now you playing by a different set of rules. Your rules in your hood don't apply to when you go to another nigga hood. When you out in wherever the fuck part of Queens, them niggas is greasy over there, son.
Right,
You see,
right.
when you go to certain parts of Brooklyn, just
But they don't
in
run
order
that
to be
hood.
safe.
They don't
Listen,
run.
the
They
same
don't
thing.
run that. They
Listen,
don't own
my
that.
nigga. Listen, the same thing
They
that you
don't
said.
own that.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said then. I know I can't go to no parts of Cali without wearing a certain type of hat that means certain type of niggas. I agree with you. How come I can't wear whatever the fuck hat I want? But I can't do that because of street politics. In this hood, in this area, nigga, that cap means this. That logo means that. I get it, my nigga. I don't want to have to oblige. I'm a neutron now. I'm not banging. I'm not active or none of that shit. I'm a neutron now. That's what they call them, right? I'm a neutron. So now I gotta follow these hood rules, nigga. My rules don't apply anymore. When I'm on niggas, I'm on their turf. That's what it is. Whether you want to oblige by the rules or not, bro, that's just how it is, my nigga. If you
But I'm
value your
not. But I'm
safety,
not.
listen,
I'm
niggas
not.
get cooked over that shit. So if you value
I'm
your
not
safety,
following. I'm
you gotta
not
do
following
it.
street rules.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not
Check this
following
out.
street rules
But check
I've
this
been
out.
on both sides of that
Because
shit.
you have to look at
Trust me.
where did those street rules come from?
We gonna answer your questions right now.
Hey, from the
Yeah.
street.
We're gonna welcome our boy Snaps on here, man.
What's good with the
Now,
snaps?
when we kept talking
Hey,
about
what's
this
happening?
LA stuff and all that, Snaps, he gonna give y'all firsthand experience on this, man. A lot of these questions you asking, he gonna be able to tell you. It's like straight up. You know what I mean? I know from what I done met with Snaps and knowing about him, I knew he was from LA, came out to Vegas, man. A lot of motherfuckers know him. They got a lot of respect for him. We kicked it one night and everybody knew him. And I didn't know why they knew him. I didn't know shit. He came to the partner house and the homeboy came through. He was looking at him like a kid looking at Santa Claus or something, man. It was like this was the legend of somebody he knew of growing up, but he just never had the chance to meet. And as a grown man now, he was finally able to meet him. And I was just sitting there watching the whole thing play out, man. But yeah, hey, welcome to the show, Snaps, man. But we over here talking about the gangs in the communities, man, and just like why some of the kids join the gangs. What's it like in the different neighborhoods, the politics behind it, and just all that, bro.
Well, me, I lived in the neighborhood. Most people live in the neighborhood. And most of the time, it don't really start off as some crazy shit. It's a little bit of camaraderie. It's a lot of camaraderie. It's a brotherhood. It starts off as fun, a lot of times. But when you come in contact with the enemy and you have to defend yourself, or not even just defend yourself, when you have to just go put in work, then it gets real. It gets real. A lot of this shit don't start off crazy. A lot of this shit don't start off, or you don't get into it because you don't have no family, or no shit like that. You know, I didn't get into it because of that. I mean, shit, I got into it because, you know, that was my neighborhood and that was my partners, you know, and, you know, we hung out. We hung out together, you know. I grew up right down the street from Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles. You know, I was a blood. I'm 57 years old now. Um, a lot of people don't realize that shit is different now. Um, it's no respect now. It's no understanding. It's really watered down, you know. And when I grew up, you know, we had respect for individuals as far as, you know, if we was gonna attack somebody, if we was gonna put in work on somebody, you know, mothers was off, you know, we didn't deal with people if we was gonna be, if they was with their mother, if they was with their girl, if they was with their kids, you know, we didn't do this candle kicking shit, you know, where, you know, somebody got killed and then they go over there and disrespect the candlelight visual. We didn't do a lot of that. Right now, it's a lot different because the respect level has left as far as with these youngsters. These youngsters now, they just don't give a shit. You know, I looked up to, and it sounds crazy now that I'm saying it, but at the time, I looked up to my OGs. You know, I looked up to individuals that was older than me. I always had respect for individuals that was older than me. You know, and they don't have that respect. So what's going on now is, first of all, it's no respect. Second of all, it's a lot more artillery. Third of all, these youngsters got a lot more money than we had. And that combination in itself is, you know, really, really full of destruction. So it's a lot different now than when I grew up. It's a lot crazier, you know, as far as just the respect level, you know, the respect level. Now you do have some individuals that get into games because they scared and this and that, but you know, motherfuckers like me, we didn't want no motherfucker like that, you know, that you know, trying to hang out because they scared or some shit like that. You know, we didn't want no individual like that because them the individuals that's gonna be telling on you when it gets cracking. Them the individuals that's gonna be running when it gets cracking. So, you know, because I saw on here that somebody said that, you know, people get into gangs because, you know, they nervous or they looking for this or they looking for that. No, it's a camaraderie. It's a camaraderie, you know, as far as when I was growing up. You know, it was a family thing, you know, it was a family thing. And you know, we hung out like that, you know, but as far as how we dealt with the community, we had respect for individuals. You know, we didn't allow a lot of shit to happen in our neighborhood unless, I mean, it was just different, man. It's different now than it is when I grew up. It's just real different.
I can tell the way you're talking. I appreciate it. That's why I made sure I stayed quiet because I can tell you know a lot and you've seen a lot through that process. And I'm just a few years under your age because I'll be 54 this November. And you touched on a lot when you said the respect is gone. So that's why for me, the day my dad told me, don't ever let somebody else tell you what you can wear and can't wear. That's when it resonated to me. And if you actually think that, if I would have knocked on, if I would have walked into your yard, walk up to your door, ring your doorbell, and you walk and you come out, and I tell you, hey, bro, I saw you had red on yesterday. You can't wear that no more. I saw you had blue on. You can't wear that no more. What would be your response to that? I'm not letting another man tell me what I can wear and can't wear. I'm not letting another nigga tell me where I can move and can't move. If
You
I want
saying
to
that?
go to Cali, I'm going to Cali.
Wait
you
a
saying
minute.
that
If
as
I
a
want to
grown
go to
man right now?
Chicago, I'm going to
Hold up,
Chicago.
hold up,
You
gotta be
speaking as a
ready then.
27-year-old man. That's not you
Hold
at
up,
13,
right.
14, 15 saying that.
hold up. Right.
It's
You
even
can't, you
worse.
can't.
I'm not letting a young nigga tell me that. That's even worse. What
Nah,
I look like
I'm talking
letting
about
a
when you
young
was
nigga tell
young.
me what I can do?
All right.
you can't sit here and tell me in the early
15.
80s, the late 70s, the early 80s that you lived in a blood neighborhood and you was wearing all blue and a motherfuckers come to you and tell you you can't wear that and you try to buck up, they was gonna fuck you up. Simple as that. So you can't sit here and tell me that
I guess I lucked out. I guess I lucked out because I was wearing everything blue I could. I was wearing everything red I could. Especially once my father said that. Them niggas
I
got a father. I
I
can't help
mean,
it if they
you
father
grew up
didn't instill in them. Like I'm 10 toes. Like I've always been that.
you
And
grew
the
up in the
thing is,
same
I
era.
was arrogant too.
You grew up in
Arrogant
the
as
same
fuck too.
era. You grew up in the same era as me, and I just can't see that. I just can't see that
I don't think
happening.
you say he didn't grow up in LA. You say he grew up
Oh,
in
I
Brooklyn.
was born in 1971. I was born in Linwood. I wasn't raised there, but I was born there.
okay. So where was you raised then for you to be saying this?
In Texas.
Well, see,
Oh, that's why.
I can't speak on Texas. I'm speaking on Los Angeles. So
But we're
that,
speaking on but
what
we're
you gotta
speaking on
understand. Wait, hold up. You gotta understand is that when you was growing up in Texas, Crips and Bloods wasn't prevalent out there. It wasn't cracking
but it was prevalent on the
like
news.
that in Texas. You know, this shit
No,
was
but it was
cracking in
prevalent on the
Arkansas.
news. It
Huh?
was on the news, brother. It was on the
Yeah, but
news.
what I'm
People
saying
so
is though,
You didn't say the
but what I'm
news.
saying,
no, I'm telling you that
but
the media controls a lot of the
what
youth.
I'm saying,
The media controls a lot of
what
the
I'm saying,
youth. What
No, they
happened to
don't.
Pac
no,
and Biggie? What happened to
No, they
Tupac
don't.
and Biggie? The
They don't
media
control the youth.
controls it. The
No, they
media
don't.
no,
controls it. You can't
listen,
clown the media.
No, they
listen,
don't,
You
bro.
can't clown the media.
Here you go.
listen. What I'm saying is
You,
that
you can't.
what I'm saying is that Crips and Bloods, when you grew up as a kid, you wasn't around blood and cripping. You wasn't around that. You was in Texas. That was something totally different that
You
was cracking out there in the 80s. It wasn't happening like that in the
you
80s, homie.
wasn't involved. You wasn't involved, but you was aware of it. So that made you structure how you move. That's why
But
my
that's
dad
not the
educated
same
me on
thing,
it.
though.
This
But
was
that's not
nothing
the
like
same thing.
originals from
People in
LA.
Canada was aware of it. People in Australia was aware of it, but it wasn't being pushed. That line wasn't being pushed
Okay, so
like
so
it
if they
was in
say
LA for you to have to like hold up. For you to be hold up. For you to be feeling like you had to defend yourself. You didn't have to defend yourself over nothing like that, like you would have had to do in LA. So please let's stop that
obviously because
right there.
I wasn't residing in LA, but it trained you to move different. For what? Why am I moving different for that? For
You
what?
left when? Well, how old were you when you left? How old were you when you
Huh?
left?
I was
How
what,
old were
about
you?
five, six? About 5 or 6?
Come on, well, that's what. Listen, homie. This shit hit people. Listen, you was 5 and 6, homie.
Okay, so what do you so you missed the part when my oldest brother got shot. You missed that
Oh
part,
no,
right?
that doesn't matter. I'm speaking on you in general.
So
Okay.
so what do you think that traumatized? So you don't think that traumatized me as a child? You don't
At
think that
5 years
traumatized me?
old, at 5 years old, was you in the first grade?
No,
You weren't even in
kindergarten.
grade. You was in kindergarten. Listen, man, that shit is not hitting to you about 12, 13, 14 years old. Okay. See, when you was at that age, then talk to me about that. Don't talk to me.
No, I paid attention growing up. I paid attention growing up. I'm the nigga that was able to manipulate and move my way through your crew and what other gangs were doing due to me paying attention. It was how you move. It was how I moved. I was
You
always
wasn't in
ahead of the
LA.
pack.
You wasn't in
Huh?
LA, homie. You wasn't in
I can't.
LA.
Look. Hey, Pac, I came early '90s from Georgia at that time to Sacramento. I knew nothing about no blood and Crip stuff at that time. So the area we lived in North Highlands. I mean, Simmy, you know about Sacramento. I lived out in North Highlands. That was all Crips. I didn't know nothing about no Crip stuff and all that. I didn't
So
run
what?
with no
So,
crew. I didn't join them, but I kicked it with them every day though. And if they fought, I fought. It was like that kind of thing. I didn't. The Bloods lived on the other side of town. They was more in South Sac, Oak Park, all that kind of stuff. I agree with you
so
with the division thing when you said earlier, right? Because it did create division. I didn't want to be around no Bloods, even though I didn't know no Bloods. You know what I mean? But it was just something that was built into you. Seeing somebody with red on or with that bandana, it made you feel a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Even though I'm not in they shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even get red. I didn't have no red clothes till I probably hit 20 years old, something like that. I never wore red. You know what I mean? All because of that. You know, but again, like you said, you don't want nobody telling you what to do, this and that. They didn't tell me what to do either, but it was just the law of the land. You know what I mean?
when I was in Queens, and when I was on that train, and the homie told me when we was arriving in Jamaica, Queens, he said, "Tuck my chain in." That was that second red flag, and that's what created my disconnect from. What's the reason that I gotta move like this for? What are gangs doing that makes me have to readjust how I move? And I'm not saying you should be out here moving stupid, because you should be cautious regardless. But why do I have to be in a defense mode with my travels? For what?
Because you in somebody else's neighborhood. That's why.
You just have to.
It's not their neighborhood. It's not their neighborhood though. But do they have the deed? Do they have the deed to that land?
Wait.
Do they have the deed to that?
Hold up.
Go to these niggas' hood and ask them that shit and see what kind of answer you get.
We're
Yeah,
not talking
give me your
about
shit.
we're not talking about owning the neighborhood, homie. We're not talking about that. All right, we talking about gangs, okay? So
Respect is what we're talking about. Respect too. We're talking about respect too.
Hold up, dog. Hold up.
A
We're
lot of
not
people died
talking
behind the
about
story.
motherfuckers owning the neighborhood. We're talking about motherfuckers who running the neighborhood, homie. Okay, who
I could give a fuck what you running though. Why should I respect a nigga I don't know? I don't know you to respect you, homie. Why should I respect you if I don't know you, nigga? You just, and I'm not calling you that, but you just another nigga to me. Why do I have to let you dictate to me how I can move and what I can wear? How? It makes no logical sense.
I'm gonna just keep it real, Tupac. I think you full of shit, homie. I think that shit that you talking about, homie, is some bullshit.
No,
I don't give a fuck.
it's
Hold
respect.
up, homie. I don't
It's
give
respect.
No, I don't give a shit who a motherfucker think he is, homie. If it's 15 motherfuckers running this over here, and this is their neighborhood, and you didn't move your fucking ass over here, you either gonna stay away from these motherfuckers or abide by what the fuck they doing over here.
I'm not in the nigga that I don't live with, that ain't blood to me. I'm not abiding by nothing he's saying. We gonna come to an agreement. We gonna come to an agreement. We gonna come to an agreement, or we gonna squabble it out. That's it. That's straight up. That's being a man. That's being a man. How am I if I'm a man?
You was getting your ass beat a lot then. Getting your ass beat a lot then. Simple as that.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? When I was 10 years old,
you was getting your ass
beat. 10 niggas. I fought 10 niggas in 3rd grade and didn't give 2 shits. I didn't give 2 shits, and I started to fight. I aggravated the fight.
Tupac, man, stop blowing yourself up.
I aggravated the fight.
Stop blowing yourself up, Tupac.
No, that's facts. No, that's facts. That's facts.
Tupac,
my dad came to my dad walked past the school one day, and he saw me get my ass beat. Right.
I'm gonna get back.
And he hopped the fence.
I'm gonna stop making
this
about you. Hold up, let's stop. I'm gonna stop making this about you. I'm gonna get back to the subject and how gangs.
The subject is respect.
No. I'm gonna get back to the subject because you over here like putting yourself way
The
up
subject
here.
is about respect. Why am I going to let a gang dictate to me what I can do and can't do in the neighborhood?
They ran the
For
neighborhood
what?
because they ran the fucking neighborhood. Because they ran the neighborhood, homie. Simple as that.
Who
They
gave
ran
them?
the
Who gave them the authorization to run that hood?
You know, you're not gonna, it's just like it's just like
Who gave them the authorization to run that hood? You got civilians getting killed. You got civilians making a wrong turn and they're getting killed in
that has
Chicago
nothing to
for
do
what?
with the fuck we talking about. That has nothing to do with the fuck we and that's the thing. And you just made my point. The civilians that made the fucking wrong turn went some fucking where as other motherfuckers was running that neighborhood and got their cap peeled.
So you just proved my point. There's nothing positive coming out of being a gang member.
Nothing positive. No.
How you justifying killing? If I was drunk, if let me say this, if I was drunk and you whipped my ass, what glorification did you get out of that? What glorification did you get out of it?
Wait a minute. Who said anything about it being positive?
Nobody.
Who said anything about it being positive?
But you defending a negative upbringing.
No, I
You're
am not.
defending a negative foundation.
He telling his truth.
What I'm actually doing is speaking from experience. I went to the penitentiary, homie, at 16. All right. At 16, I went to the penitentiary, homie, when you was going to fucking school and playing them, wearing them little ass shorts and all that old bullshit.
I
was a dropout in third grade.
Well, you still had the shorts on.
I was a dropout in third grade.
And you walked 7 miles.
After you fought them 10 niggas.
And you walk 7 miles to school every day, huh? Kill this bullshit, Tupac. You wasn't doing it like that, homie. You wasn't living that life.
How do you know that though? How do you know that? How do you know that though?
So you jumped out in third grade. That's what you said.
Hey, you know what?
My dad pulled me out at third. My dad pulled me out at third.
Oh, you got
at third grade. I haven't seen a school since. And I didn't see any loyalty, any unity for me to gravitate to a gang. I didn't see any loyalty, any unity for me to gravitate to a gang. There was nothing prosperous that attracted me about a gang.
You was homeschooled, right?
No, I was not.
That was smart.
No, I was not. I was not. I had no credentials as a homeschooler. The constables will pull up.
Damn, listen, man, that decision was smart. Okay, so we give you kudos. Okay, you didn't join the gang and this and that. So stop speaking about the shit that you don't know about. Okay.
No, I'm speaking about the shit that I was educated with through the homies that I was affiliated with that were in gangs. How the fuck you can tell me that I can't have knowledge of what I know that's going on internally inside the gang, which is internal genocide of the gangs are structured to kill another nigga. Gangs are structured to kill another nigga. Gangs are structured.
You asked me a question. How would I know? The reason why I know is because we wouldn't tell you shit if you wasn't a part of this here. It ain't no reason for us to tell you shit for you to go tell on us.
You wouldn't have to because I know how y'all move.
No, you don't.
Yes, how do I not if I'm watching?
You watch.
You don't see
if I'm watching.
Listen, homie, you don't see everything, homie. I promise you didn't. But listen, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I think you talking about TV, bro.
Yeah, because see, you done watch Colors. You done watch Colors and Boys in the Hood. You done watch Colors and Boys in the Hood.
No, that's not TV.
That's not what their life is about. No, it's not. No, it's not, homie. You done let these white folks tell you some bullshit on the news, and you think that's what gangs is about. No,
what makes you say that? What makes you say that? What makes you say that?
You just said something about the news. You just said it.
I said no. I said that's one angle that a narrative is painted through the media.
They don't know shit.
When you're okay. So do you have a father?
No, he's dead right now.
Rest in peace to your father. What was he in your life? Was he a father in your life?
A Santa Claus motherfucker. That's it.
Okay. I had a father in my life, right?
Okay, so then that's
when a man When a man has a father in his life, that father is the truth. And everything he say to his son is the truth. That's what his son is feeling and assuming. When my dad said, when my father said, don't let another nigga tell you what you can wear and can't wear, I took that as the truth. Why would I adjust myself according to another man?
So you didn't join the gang. You wasn't a part of the gang. So stop speaking on the fucking life that you know nothing about.
No, but it's affecting my common life because now I can't go to Foot Locker and buy this fucking baseball cap.
Talk about it affecting.
I can't.
So talk about. Hold up. So talk about how it affected your life, but not try to talk about.
It's affecting my dress code. It's affecting my dress code, homie.
Hold up. But you said
it's
that
affecting my dress code.
But you said that it didn't. You said that it didn't affect.
I didn't allow it. But why does it have to be a conversation about how I dress? How?
Okay,
when you're in a certain neighborhood, it's gonna be conversations like that.
Listen,
you in their stomach grounds, you in their soil.
It's not their soil. That's how I see it.
Hey, tell them, hey, take your ass to the jungles and tell them niggas that they ain't got no property deeds.
No, this is not Vietnam, though.
Let me tell you about the gangs, okay? When gangs first started, it was basically supposed to be something good. It really started off being good, okay? So how I can't say
women and kids.
Why don't you listen, homie? You might learn something. Listen, you might learn something. Gangs
I know where it originated from. I know where it originated from. Gangs were originated to protect the neighborhood from outsiders, to protect the women and kids. I know where it originated from. Stop acting like I'm a peasant on the panel and I don't know where the establishment of gangs are from.
Hey, Flex, let him get it out real quick. Go ahead, Cornel.
All right. Shit, man.
I had to put him on mute, boy.
Gangs basically started off.
God damn.
Gangs started off basically to protect the neighborhoods, okay? The FBI and all of that, they infiltrated that because they didn't like the unity of the black people, which was like I would consider like the especially like in the North, where Huey Newton and all of them. What they call themselves again?
The Black Panthers. Black Panther Party in Oakland.
Okay, so how the Black Panther Party, that was basically a gang, but it was positive. All right. And they had leaders, they had individuals that were smart and that would lead the younger kids the right way. The FBI infiltrated that, snatched all their ass up and put them in jail. When they snatched all their ass up, motherfuckers like me that was 10, 11 years old, now we don't have that individual to guide us. We don't have that individual to lead us in the right way. But we still was trying to do the same things that they were doing. But now instead of 17, 18, 19-year-old individuals that was smart, that was going to college leading us, now we got motherfuckers that's 12 and 13 that's trying to do the same thing. But then it became bullying. And when it became bullying, it just became motherfuckers really just pushing their own agenda as far as power, as far as, okay, I'm running this neighborhood, I'm running this neighborhood. And then it was just Crips. How the other individuals started that fought them, it was brims before it was bloods, okay? The brims came about to fight against the Crips. Push forward, all this shit exploded into something bigger than everybody thought it was gonna be. It became big in LA. It became big in California, really Southern California, because it wasn't like that in the Bay. In the Bay, it was players, it was pimping, it was all of that. It wasn't no Crips and Bloods in the Bay. Okay, it was just in the South, the southern part of California. Again, as I continue to gangbang, I saw the flip basically in the 90s, the mid 90s. And the flip came in the mid 90s because we as individuals, young men, we lost respect because we didn't have other men that was guiding us as far as on the respect level, okay? On the respect level. When we didn't have individuals that was able to guide us on the respect level, we really lost our way. We was already twisted just for fucking gangbanging, all right? But then when we lost respect, or rather that other generation lost respect, which is the generation under me, it just went real crazy. We really still was trying not to attack innocent people. We really tried not to hurt individuals that didn't gangbang when I was gangbanging. But then when motherfuckers lost their way, crack came out, wasn't no mamas in the house, wasn't no more big mamas that was help raising us. All that shit just got twisted and got lost. And when all that got lost, you had that next generation. They didn't know anything about respect. So if they don't give a shit about their daddy, they don't give a shit about their uncle, they don't give a shit about their mama, how they gonna give a shit about you? I still care about my mama. I still care about my grandmother. These individuals lost that. They lost individuals that were still applying morals. And I know that's an oxymoron to say me gangbanging and I still have morals. I fucking did, because I still was raised the right way. I just chose a different path. You understand what I'm saying? And so, and I'm speaking on how it affects the neighborhood now. That's what I'm talking about. These individuals now, they lost their way because the guidance had got watered down. You remember, all of us had big mamas in our house.
Yep.
All of us had individuals that was still, regardless if we was selling dope or this, that, they still was instilling morals and values, whereas we still had respect for our elders. You know, like I still had respect for my elder, regardless of me gangbanging. You know, I wasn't cussing around my elders in the street. I wasn't doing any of that. Well, now they lost all of that, man. And so since they lost all of that, it's got worse. And on top of these individuals having a whole lot of money, on top of these individuals having guns that's unheard of. That's just a method. That's just a design for just craziness. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what happened with the gangs in the neighborhoods now, is that now they honestly don't care about shit. They don't care about nothing. I still cared about myself. They don't, and then they do drugs. They do all type of drugs. So it's like with that combination in itself, having a whole lot of money, not having any respect, drugs, and then access to artillery that can shoot 500 times in 5 seconds with no training, that's just disaster. So that's how this shit is fucking up the neighborhoods now.
So you don't think I don't see that?
Hold on.
I didn't say you didn't.
Time out, man. We about to go way the fuck off track again. Pac, with the problem is that
we're talking about the games. Why y'all niggas always say we off track when we're talking about the same thing? He was just talking about games.
Listen, we're not, because when you say, so you think when you say don't, you make
because you guys downplay my knowledge of gangs and affiliation because I wasn't in a gang.
We're not talking about you though. We're just talking about the broader spectrum. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
But you cannot disconnect my knowledge, LG. You can't disrespect and disavow my knowledge of gangs because I wasn't in the neighborhood. He just said it. He just said the way it's moving. He said the way it's moving now. Okay, so let me ask you, Cornell. Let me ask you a question. You said the Black Panthers was moving in a positive fashion, right? And
yes.
and I respect I respect what the Black Panthers were shooting for. I respect what they were aiming for, right? And I feel we needed that. But as a kid, how do you think I felt when I knew it was the Black Panther that shot my brother?
I don't know.
How do I assess that?
Hold up.
How do I assess that as a kid, as a child?
I don't know, but that's something personal. And see, you take things so personal.
No, that's not personal. That's not personal. How is that personal? The Black Panthers was a unit. The Black Panthers was a unit. So you take.
I don't know what your brother was into. I don't know what your brother did.
My brother wasn't into nothing. He was innocently sitting on the porch with a straight bullet. With a straight bullet.
Okay, but that's what's not this topic is about. This topic is not about your brother getting shot.
It's about gangs.
No, it's about
gangs.
It's about how gangs affect the neighborhoods now. That's what it's about. Okay.
Yeah, so it affected where I lived and watched. It affected where I lived and watched.
Okay, so your isolated incident from a group of black people that
from
was
a gang.
Hold up, that was positive to the neighborhood. Okay,
that it wasn't positive to my knowledge as a child.
Okay,
and this is why I caution gangs. This is why I caution gangs. If you're in a gang and you can't allow a child to infiltrate that, what are you doing then?
Okay, but that's what I'm trying to explain to you is that wasn't happening with the Black Panther Party. See, with the Black Panther Party, they was there to teach. They were there to protect. Okay, listen, I'm what you call second generation Black Panther Party. Okay, so Tookie and all them, we're second generation Black Panther Party, which was fucked up. Okay, we were fucked up, but Huey Newton and them, that was the positive part, homie. And what happened to your brother? God bless his soul. I don't know, but that has nothing to do with what the fuck we're talking about.
So if I have a problem, it's not my job to assess.
That's your personal problem.
We spoke on that already. I thought we was gonna move on.
That is your personal problem.
You keep saying,
and I don't want to talk about nothing personal with you. We're talking about something that's abroad. That affects everybody in a certain
gangs are personal when you have sons out here and you have to tell them how to move and how to not join a gang. That's personal. You guys get on here and be so political. You can't separate a gang from a personality and a person that's affected in a home. You can't separate the two.
I'll give you an example, okay? Right now, because you keep making me get off subject and shit, and I'm hating this. But right now, I have a son that's 18 years old, okay? We moved out here, but when my son turned 13, I said I promised that I wasn't going to raise my son in California and LA. Because I know that regardless of how I raised him, the streets can still get to him, whether it be in a positive way or a negative way. So what my goal was to raise me a civilian, not a little fucking me. I raised a fucking civilian, okay? So I didn't raise him with street rules. I didn't raise him with all this craziness. I raised him like motherfucker, something happened, call the police. That's how I raised my son. All right. So what we're talking about fucking today, right now, is not about my son. It's not about how this
Yes,
shit
it is. How is this off topic? Gentlemen, let me ask you a question. You just talked about your son, right? God bless your son. How is what we're talking about off topic? It's affecting the family. Gangs are affecting the family. What do you guys, why are you saying this is not personal? It is personal.
Gangs are not affecting my son because I got my son away from that shit and he's not around that shit. All right, he's not.
But you had to adjust, but you had to educate and adjust that route. You
I had to move the fuck away. I had to
for sure to educate. That's a part of life. You gotta educate.
That's
right. So why are you guys saying it's not personal? Gangs are affecting your personal.
I didn't say anything. You can't put what everybody else is saying.
You guys, he said getting him off track. How is getting you off track talking about how you had to educate your son in gangs?
Bringing up your subject about your
that was me being affected by a gang.
We understand that. But we
so
go to something else now.
Okay, I can say this then. How gangs affected my son is we decided to move away. That's how it affected us. We decided to move away.
That's huge. That's personal.
Right.
So we're not getting off subject when we're talking about how gangs are affecting the community, the homes, our relationships, our connection with another black man. That's affecting us personally. This is the whole topic. You guys are quick to say that we're off subject because you're dealing with me and my antics, as you call it, dealing with certain subjects. I'm just passionate about it. I never got off topic. And you, LG, you always say that. How am I getting off topic? Because I have my personal view.
You don't think that I'm passionate about something that I actually live? You don't think that I'm passionate about something that I actually went to the penitentiary on 3 separate times? You don't think that I'm passionate about that? Like I'm very passionate about that. This is something that I actually lived, homie. I didn't read about this shit. I didn't look at TV about this shit. I got a big ass CK on my arm, homie. I went to jail for murder at 16. You understand me? And I'm not trying to glorify this. I'm explaining to you that this is passionate to me, man. It really, really is. But understand understand that it's very hard for me to feel like you understand what the fuck I felt, or what the fuck I went through as a gang member. You can't sit here and tell me shit. I don't care.
A lot of my homies were from halfway. Do you know what a halfway house is? Does anybody know in this panel what a halfway house is?
I don't care. I'm explaining to you. I don't care what somebody that told your ass. I don't care about.
But I'm saying, so outside of me, why are you guys assuming that anybody who has a voice to speak on this topic learned it from the media or learned it from? That was a selective outlet that I spoke on. But you guys are claiming that my knowledge of what's going on with gangs come from the white man or come from the TV. Why would you insult me or assume that? For what? Y'all haven't sat. Check it. A lot of times I've kicked it with y'all. You haven't even sat down and asked me questions about my upbringing or who I know or who I'm affiliated with ever.
You always
You know why? You know why? Because it's a cloak that you see. But you can't read a book by its cover. I'm not going to get on here. I'm not going to get on here and let you guys assume my knowledge of the streets came from me being a white man, because that's an insult. And this nigga's on the panel insulting another nigga. And this is the problem about gangs.
The reason why we saying that is because those are the
About
words that
gangs.
came out of your mouth.
It
We're
came
not
out of your
insinuating
mouth.
anything.
Yeah, you said
You ain't
What came
literally
out of my
said
mouth?
that,
Make it make
the
sense.
news.
You
I'm
said
The
gonna
that.
tell
news.
you what. First
No,
you
I
said
said that was one of the reasons why my dad educated me on it. I said my dad. I didn't say I educated myself on news. I said my dad educated me because he was monitoring the wave of gangs that was spilling through the nation. And he said, don't
Okay.
ever let another man tell you
This
what
is
you can
recorded,
wear.
you know that, right?
Listen,
This is
listen,
recorded,
hey,
so
Pop,
you can
listen,
go back and
you
watch
know
this.
that my son's father, which is me, gang bang to the fucking fullest. But he don't know shit about gang banging. Nothing at all. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want him to know about that bullshit. Simple as that. Your daddy raised you right, homie. So be proud, dog.
What?
Be happy. Hold up.
Why
Be
would you
happy.
think
Be happy that you had a good father that raised you right, that kept you straight, and that kept you away from the bullshit. It's okay not to know some shit, homie. It's okay. I sold crack, but I don't know about motherfuckers who smoke crack. I can't tell you how these motherfuckers live. I can't tell you how I can't tell you how a crackhead live. I can't tell you what.
Watch the news, man. If you want to know, watch the news.
I didn't say I'm an educator on gangs. But the things I addressed is the knowledge that I personally knew firsthand.
All right. Well, check this out, man. That boy Charleston White said he got something to say to y'all, man. He want to give y'all his goddamn opinion about this shit.
Let me see that. Yeah.
Let me see.
In their hearts. What are gangs doing? They enslaved the community. At least they fed the slaves. They don't even feed their communities.
Right, but not every black person's a gang member. At one point, every black person in America below the Mason-Dixon line was a slave.
Every black person have been oppressed by the Crips and the Bloods. Every black person have had some type of oppress, killing, murdered, been bullied by the Crips or the Bloods. I'm telling you that as a black person. Tookie used to take the youth workers' snack lunches and smash the apples on their head. They started out bullying the community. They never stopped.
Same shit I said.
So there's been nothing good in 50 years. They don't have a foundation. They don't have a car shop, no laundry mats. They don't have nothing but death and destruction. So I'm saying how they hadn't been worse than slavery. At least at one point they let the slaves free. They ain't even freed us from it yet. If you go in their neighborhoods, you gotta submit to them. You can't just be normal. You can't be a square kid. You got to be what they are. You can't play the violin. You can't play tennis. Why you think out of every game, everybody got to be a shooter or a killer? He might just be a drum major. He might just need to play the drum. He might just need to shoot basketball. He know how to work on cars. He know how to put the radios and he know how to hook up the sound system. But they'll take the kid who know how to change tires and fix all and make him a shooter and a killer. So they make everybody shooters and killers. They don't raise bank executives. They don't raise psychiatrists and psychologists. So in my eyes, working in the community as a man who sit in the witness stand on capital murder and death penalty cases for gang members, they have done more destruction in 50 years than slavery did to us.
Oh shit.
That's deep. That's some deep.
So he just, Benz, every time you send me the topic before we even go on air, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really look at those topics freehand because when I go on this podcast, I want it to come from here unbiased without even being hampered by anything I've seen. I didn't even see that. And he said the exact same thing I said. One of the most unhealthiest way to live is to be involved and engulfed in a gang because there's nothing positive coming out of it at all.
Nobody refuted that. Nobody refuted that. Nobody said that.
But then you guys clown me because I said I'm not respecting. I'm not respecting law. I'm not respecting a gang's rules. If how I move, I'm not respecting the rules. I'm not moving dumb to be wiser, serpent harmless at doves. But why I have to be forced to wear a certain cap that you don't want me to wear? Why I have to be forced to dress a certain way that you don't want me to dress?
Listen, homie, hold up. That ain't what y'all I said. He said that it did affect everybody. It has affected everybody in a negative way. He said that
he said why are certain individuals have to be forced to be a shooter? Maybe that nigga wants to be a basketball player. That's the same thing I was saying. That means why do I have to be forced to watch how I move through a neighborhood?
Larry shaking that head.
Come on, homie. You're not ignorant, are you? You're not ignorant, are you? You're not ignorant, are you?
How long have you known me? Not long, right? But you know me long enough to know.
So let me explain something to you. I go to Mississippi and I go to backwater motherfucking Mississippi. All right. And I'm in backwater Mississippi where it ain't nothing but KKK in that motherfucker. Do you think I'm gonna move differently, or I'm gonna be saying fuck what these crackers is saying? Fuck that I'm black power. You think I'm gonna be doing some shit like that? Hell fucking no. That's the same motherfucker.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
You fucking not. And that's the same thing.
Watch, I got a story to prove. I got a story to tell. This for me to God. Check this out. Check this out. My dad was on the radio. My dad was on the radio. White people thought he was white because how articulate he was, how verbally educated he was, right? When they saw my dad on the Joan Hallmark show, it was equivalent to Oprah Winfrey show. They saw that my dad was black, right? These white folks stopped listening to my dad's radio station, right? The white sponsor that my dad had said, I can't sponsor or support your ministry no more because the KKK just hung a cat in my backyard. He said, so this is the last check I'm gonna write you. I can't do it, right? Guess what my dad did? He still went out in the streets of Watts, California. He had us 9 kids set up the tent, and he was still out there preaching. So that's how I was raised. So yeah, you might not do it, but I'm gonna do it.
First of all, hold up. Now let me speak. First of all, you was in Watts. Second of all, everybody that's in Watts was raised up spiritually in some type of way, whether it be Christianity, Muslim.
No, but we was in the streets. My dad was in the streets preaching. My dad was in the street preaching. He wasn't tucked off in the churches.
Listen, dog, let me finish, homie. You might learn something. Just be quiet for a minute. They respected your daddy as a religious individual.
In the streets.
Hold up. They respected your daddy because at that time, we was raised to respect our elders. At that time, we was raised to respect all spiritual individuals. At that time. That ain't cracking right now, homie. That ain't happening right now.
The point I'm making is my dad preached in the same streets that you say you from. So for the answer your question, would I go to Mississippi and move the way I'm saying now? Yes, I would, because that's the way my dad moved. We didn't let nobody dictate.
He wasn't preaching like that right now, homie. He wasn't doing that right now in 2025. You talking about 1970? Life was totally different. Listen, homie. Life was totally different 50 years ago. Life was totally different.
So you telling me for what you know of me, even in my ignorance, I'm gonna shy away from moving like that now?
What I'm telling you is that what I've been saying for a while. My generation have respect. This new generation have no respect. We would have had respect for your father. This generation now don't give a shit about your daddy. They'll pop your ass standing next to him because you got on some blue or that you got on some. Hold up. they will pop your ass next to him, and if he say something, they will pop his ass too right now.
Okay, so let me say this. What, the audacity of any gang to feel that they have the power to take another man's life and that man can't take their life at the same.
We don't give a shit. That's
you know it's the goofy. You know it's the goofy. It was the goofy that killed Nipsey Hussle, right? You know it was a goofy, right? It was a stepper. It wasn't a stepper. It wasn't a stepper.
First of all, stop speaking on shit that you don't know again. Because that nigga was a gangbanger, and that nigga was a fucking shooter, and that's my main enemy. Rolling 60s was my main enemy, homie. All right? That nigga who killed Nipsey was a motherfucking shooter. He was a gangbanger, homie. But let's cut that off right now. Because see, you're talking about shit that you don't know about. He wasn't just no buster ass nigga.
We're talking about compared to what Nipsey was doing for the neighborhood. Yes, you a buster because Nipsey was trying to organize a proper elevation of the neighborhood. Anybody who demobilizes a man like Nipsey doing what he was doing, you a buster.
Hold up. Let's stop that right now, homie. Because see, what you got to understand is that if you're gonna be trying to organize a neighborhood and do good for a neighborhood, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
That is true. That is true.
Can't be if you can't be dealing with gangbanging politics.
But I would rather have one in and one out than have both out and nothing in. You got to start somewhere.
So that's why motherfuckers like that get killed. Hold up, that's why motherfuckers.
There's a tilt.
No. So that's why motherfuckers like that get killed in those type of situations. Because see, they trying to do good and they still trying to hang on to the neighborhood. And when you still try to hang on to the neighborhood, you dealing with gangbanging politics. And when you're dealing with gangbanging politics, you get caught up in the bullshit. Nipsey got caught up.
Okay, so you have no education on how to reach. So how do you reach the youth? So how do you reach the youth? How do you reach the youth? We're off the Nipsey. How would you reach the youth of today in gangs?
I'm finna tell you right now, homie, because I got both foot out right now, homie. And I got tattoos to prove that I did this. I got a record to prove that I lived this. But right now, I have both feet out. Okay? And I'm working. Okay? And I'm living a civilian life. Okay? And that's how I teach them. I teach them that I can live a civilian life and make it without dealing with gang banging. See, motherfuckers, it ain't no retirement plan to gang banging, homie. Like I literally lost I got very few homies that's over 50 years old that's still living right now, dog, or that's not in the penitentiary for life. All right, I got very few homies like that, homie. So it comes a time where you have to wise up. But in the meantime, in between time, if you straddling in a fence, you get the fuck caught up.
Okay, so you don't praise Martin Luther King and criticize Malcolm X.
They didn't gangbang, homie. So that's that.
I'm saying the method to change. What? I'm saying the method to change our race, right? To get rid of the friction. Malcolm X went the peace route. Malcolm X went the renegade route. Dr. King went the peace route.
But not
and they both were criticized. And they both were criticized.
But not on no black destruction shit. So stop. How the fuck you?
No, they said Malcolm X was rogue. Malcolm X was rogue.
Listen, homie, not on no black destruction shit.
No, he was saying fight back. Malcolm X was saying fight back.
How the hell are you even putting that together with gangbanging?
Yes, I'm telling you, there's two different individuals that have different methods. You saying you can't have one foot in and 1 foot out. At times you can. You have to do that. You have to infiltrate. Do you know what it means to go undercover?
Hey, Benz.
You know what it means to go undercover?
Hey, Ben.
When you're trying to change the system of the mob, you have to become a mob. You have to become that.
I don't.
So are you talking about the Spook by the Door? Are you talking about that book? That what you talking about?
No. I never read no fucking book.
Brother. I don't even know. Okay, brother. What's your name right here with the glasses?
Rolly Fitz?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what the fuck he was just talking about with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King?
I would say because we said you can't have one foot in and one foot out.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. You can't.
Why did you add them? Why did you add them?
Because when you're trying to change the black culture, which Malcolm X and Dr. King was, when you're trying to change that, you have to work with two different tactics. When you're trying to change the gang and you're trying to reach the youth, sometimes you have to have one foot in and one foot out. It's called going undercover to change it.
Okay.
Everything I say is not dumb. Y'all just don't connect the dots.
I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Why is that? Why you good for me? Why y'all good for me when I get on? Because you don't listen.
Okay,
all you see is.
I'll give you an example then, because see, you kind of. No, listen to me. Okay, listen to me.
Crazy.
If Malcolm X, listen, Malcolm X started off doing what? Being a pimp, being a slickster, selling dope, and all that, right? That's what Malcolm X started off doing, right? So
and messing with white women.
If Malcolm X, from the same thing that we're talking about with Nipsey, if Malcolm X had one foot into the selling dope, pimping, and all that, and had one foot into being a Muslim, then that would equate the same thing as with Nipsey, not Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Okay?
No, it did, because Malcolm X was the renegade. He said, "Fuck the peace walk." Malcolm X said, "Fuck peace walking."
Listen, Malcolm X was all in from all out of his old life, all out of his old life.
But he knew the militant tactics that it took.
Listen, homie, he was all out.
No, he was not. He was not. But from the street talk point, but not
life.
From the street.
He wasn't dealing with his old life ever again.
Fucking Christ.
Okay, so see your analogies be fucking weird, homie.
I'm talking about the militant route Malcolm X took compared to the peace route that MLK took.
What the fuck that got to do with what we talking about today?
That has nothing.
He said because we were talking about.
That's not having one foot in. That's not having one.
He said. I brought up gangs, and one of the names I mentioned was Nipsey Hussle. Recipe to Nipsey.
That's not having.
You said Nipsey had one foot in and one foot out.
But that's not having one foot in and one foot out with Malcolm X. And that's not. He didn't have.
It's a tactic. No, it's a tactic that he had to use.
Hey, Freddie, Hey, Freddie, I'm finna go, man, because he went. I don't know what the fuck he talking about, and don't nobody else know. Nobody else know.
Because y'all don't want to know.
Nobody else know what the fuck you talking about. This shit went weird. This shit is weird.
I was talking about tactic.
That's not the same thing, homie. That wasn't the same thing. And Nipsey wasn't on no fucking tactic. He had one foot in gangbanging and one foot in trying to do the right thing. That ain't the same fucking thing.
You can't just hop out of gangbanging.
Yes, the fuck you can. Yes, the fuck you can.
No, you can't.
How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me, homie?
Okay, so what's your
how you gonna tell Legend?
What's your assumption of the mob? What's your opinion of the mob?
What are you talking about?
This motherfucker gonna tell me. Hold up. Let me tell you something. Hold up. Be quiet. Wait. Be quiet. You gonna try to fucking tell me that if I wanted to stop when I wanted to stop gangbanging that I couldn't just stop?
No,
that's what you telling me?
If you was infiltrated,
okay, you were fucking. Now let me tell you something, homie. I don't know what type of TV movie you've been watching, but let me explain something to you, dog. When motherfuckers want to stop gangbanging, they stop gangbanging. And I'm speaking on Crips and Bloods. Okay? I'm speaking on Crips and Bloods. When we want to stop, we stop. When we get caught up is when we try to have one foot in and one foot out. But when we want to stop, because motherfuckers don't want nobody who ain't with it, who ain't all the way with it.
Drop your flag like that, right? That's what you're saying?
Homie, I did, dog. I did, homie. When I had my daughter, let me explain something. When I had my first daughter, dog, when I had my last time I was in the penitentiary, I went in 1997. I got out in 2000. When I got out in 2000, I said, this is it. I ain't fucking around no more. I got kids now. I want to raise my kids. So I stopped going to hood days. I stopped going to hang out. I stopped being in the neighborhood. I wasn't around anymore. Simple as that, homie. Motherfucker couldn't tell me that I had to game bang. Are you fucking crazy?
It's called dropping your flag.
It's called getting the fuck out and being smart, motherfucker. So you can put it however you want to put it.
Look over your back. So you don't have to look over your back no more. You
can put it. Hey, you can put it how. That's why I keep telling you, homie, how like you be hearing shit, you be hearing bullshit, and you run with it because you think that shit is Bible. It's fucking not, dog.
No, that's
don't tell me. Don't fucking tell. Listen, homie. Don't tell me something that I fucking lived. Stop doing that, homie. Stop doing that. I lived this, dog. And you sit here trying to fucking tell me that I couldn't stop gang banging.
So the same strength and breath that you're saying I'm trying to tell you. Why are you trying to tell me where I'm getting my lifestyle and information from?
Because I lived the motherfucking shit that you talking about.
But you don't.
So I don't know who you get your information from.
Hey,
I'm telling you, homie. I don't know who you got your information from, homie. But I'm telling you what I lived, dog.
From life itself.
Okay.
From life itself.
You didn't watch the movie Blood In, Blood Out. Now the Mexicans.
I don't even know what that movie is. I don't even know what that movie is.
Movie Blood In and Blood Out.
I don't even know what that movie is.
They run with that.
Hey, yo, Snaps.
They probably think that they probably think that we gotta cut our hand with a knife to get in the gang and shit. They probably think, like all this so weird shit, homie. No, dog, no. Homie. And I'm only speaking on Crips and Blood. See, because you gotta understand, Spanish gangs is different, white gangs is different. I'm only speaking on Crips and Bloods. Okay? That's what I'm speaking about. I don't speak on the politics of Mexicans because their politics is totally different. I don't speak on the politics of Woods because the Woods politics is totally fucking different. You understand what I'm saying? I'm speaking on Crips and Bloods. I mean, I can't even speak on the politics of Chicago shit because they shit is totally different, homie.
But it brings the same destruction. It brings the same.
But that's not what. But see, but you keep going to the left.
We're talking.
We never disputed that. We never disputed that, homie. We never disputed that. We never did.
The DNA. I don't give a fuck about what race of gang we're talking about.
But you have to, though.
Same DNA. They're under the same
DNA. No. Stop. See, that's how I know you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because see, it is different. Because see, I'm black, and I'm not just black, I'm a blood. So I'm a part of the umbrella of Bloods and Crips. I'm not a part of the umbrella of folks and what's them Chicago gangs? GDs and all that. I like they have whole different laws and bylaws on me than what Crips and Bloods do. I'm not under the umbrella of Serranos and Norteños. This shit is totally different. See, you keep trying to put everybody under the same umbrella when it comes. Wait a minute. When it comes to gang politics, everybody politics is different, dog. All right, everybody politics different.
So if you're driving and a cop pull you over, and then if you're driving and a marshal pull you over, are you gonna see them as two different entities?
Hey man, our gangs destroying black communities, man. That's shit.
Thank you, man. I've been trying to say
Gangs
that shit for
destroying
45
black
minutes,
communities.
man.
That's all.
Okay.
That's the topic, and we trying to figure it out.
Okay, you know me. I will give you that. I will give you another thing that since you want to throw that in. Okay.
Oh no, they said
I live in LA.
They said don't answer that, Cordell. Look on the screen. Look at the bottom of the screen. Say don't answer that.
because when I'm on here, I think a lot of y'all look at me as just a foolish voice, and nobody takes time to assess what I'm actually saying.
No, you just be on some different. No, but like you be on some different shit, and you think that you know, but you don't know. You really don't, homie. Like I honestly, I'm telling you, like your shit is some TV movie
Okay,
shit.
so
Like-
if I was so off track this long, how did I make it to be 53 years old? And,
by the grace of God.
You know, since the day
I said, I'm gonna
the day
tell you. Hold up. You asked me a question by the grace of God, and you had mommy and daddy in the house that was raising you right. Simple as that. You had good guidance.
But that puts me behind the pack. That
don't.
That shortens my lifespan. That
puts you ahead of the pack. That puts you ahead of the pack.
How?
I'm finna give you an example. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. I have 3 daughters and a son. They were raised by their mama and father in the house. Okay? They were ahead of the pack because now they have a man that's pushing the line of going forward without the bullshit. Okay? When you have just that mama in the house and not that man voice in the house that's being an actual leader, and mama gotta work, and now we at the house by ourselves, we able to just have free will, free reign, free running. That's totally different than what the fuck you went through. Nigga, you had a mama and a daddy. Hold up. You had a mama and a daddy, homie, and you act like that's something bad. Like you really downplaying that shit. You cannot downplay that shit, homie. That is big, homie. I wouldn't know. Listen, homie.
I'm not down.
No, listen, dog. I wish I had that. I didn't. And I vowed to give all 4 of my kids that. And that's what I've been doing. So stop downplaying your life, homie, and stop trying to act like your shit was fucked up. No, it wasn't. No, your shit wasn't fucked up.
Because
no, listen, homie, your shit wasn't fucked up.
It was fucked up. It was fucked up.
It was fucked up.
It was fucked up. My dad had 9 kids, 5 boys, 4 girls. I was the black sheep out of those kids, right?
We ain't talking about his Rolling Stone kids. We ain't talking about his Rolling Stone kids. We ain't talking about his Rolling Stone kids. You live with him, right? I'm not talking about what he had on the side. You live with him. You had him in your presence.
No, all of these are my blood brothers and sisters. These are not side kids.
So then y'all had him in the house.
See how you assume that?
Listen, dog, you just told me how he raised you. You just told me that he instilled that don't let no man tell you what you can wear.
No, I said he gave advice. Stop.
That's raising you, homie. That's raising you.
That is not what you said. Whatever, man.
This motherfucker said he just gave me advice, and he's my father. You act like you was going to talk to a priest, motherfucker. This is your daddy. Your daddy was raising you. That wasn't no. He wasn't fucking give you advice, nigga. He was setting rules, motherfucker. He was setting rules in your life. The fuck?
He literally said, the nigga literally said, yo, my dad told me don't let another nigga tell me what to wear and what not to wear. That's not advice.
He
was setting rules, homie. He was raising you. He was raising you, homie. He was raising you how to be a man and how to be an independent man, homie.
He never claimed me as his son. My father never claimed me as his son. How was that raising?
All right, man. Okay, all right. You need to go to.
We're gonna get back on the subject, man, because we said we were supposed to be talking about how it affects the community, not how it affects Tupac. So how does it affect the community?
Thank you.
This so personal. Bro, we just went 45 minutes just on personal.
It is personal. Games is personal.
I know, but we were supposed to talk about the community.
How it affected community?
So I'm not part of the community.
No,
so
no, hell no.
Minutes person
You
about
keep
your
making
life.
it about.
We didn't even get a word in about. That's like you done took it over. Legend couldn't even talk about his life. Roland didn't talk about his life. Nigga, I ain't even said a word yet.
And I'm sitting here arguing with your black ass.
If I'm discussing something of this level, I would hope you would interject your life in that while you're on the panel.
It's different. It's different sharing your personal experiences from taking 45 minutes out of the show to turn the topic about the black community about your life. And that's what pretty much we've been doing. And that's hold on, Sam.
You did, man. Shit.
Hold on. Everything. How many times you keep saying my dad, my brother, this many sisters, that many brothers, me, and how I was raised and what I was told. It's not about you. We just trying to talk about the whole community, not just us as a whole, or us individually, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the what you're not realizing and what you're doing and you don't see it is that you keep making it all about you and your personal experiences. I'm trying to answer snaps. I'm trying to piggyback off of shit that he's saying without including you and your personal experiences in the topic at hand. But you keep making it, but how is this and how is that and how do you know? And we basing our answers. Listen, we giving you the answer to your questions based off of the shit that's actually rolling off your tongue. But you not seeing that, bro. Like when you sit up here and you say this is where I get my information from. Listen. When you say this is where you get your information from, and we say you said that's where you get your information from, why the fuck are you arguing? You said that. Those are your words. But we trying to get off of that topic because you're not the topic. That's the whole bottom line. I've been trying to answer snaps for like a fucking hour. I was damn near ready to log the fuck off because it's like, you know what? It's a wrap for the show. We've been on this motherfucker for 2 hours and they get shit accomplished.
If you don't have shit to say, why the fuck would you talk?
He did have something to say.
Nigga, why you gotta make the show all about you?
Freddie B.
So all of a sudden today, I run the show. So all of a sudden today, all these episodes.
No, you misunderstanding, fam. You misunderstanding what I'm saying, bro. That's why I said you're not seeing what's going on, man.
So all of a sudden today, I control the panel.
It ain't just today.
It ain't just today. Look at the screen.
You just made it. I told you this about 45 minutes ago, fam. You just you took it and made it about you, and you're not realizing that's what you're doing. Whether you agree with it or see it or not, that's what you're doing.
How was I able to do that today?
By opening your mouth.
All the shows.
By opening your mouth.
How was you able to do that?
You open your mouth and you do.
All right, look. You know what? Look. We can discuss this shit in person because we see each other in real life. So why don't we just get back to the subject or what little it is left of this fucking show, and let's get to that. And then whatever answer, like we could talk about that shit in person, Pac. Like I'd rather explain to you because you're more reasonable. Listen. You're more reasonable in real life and in person than you are on the show. I'm telling you that.
How was that when Paul told me?
Okay,
I don't Paul not on this fucking show, bro. I don't care about no fucking Paul right now, bro. It doesn't matter about what Paul is, man.
Hey, L, how
this shit right now? Shout out to Paul. Shout out to OG Paul. But Paul ain't got nothing to do with this. This nigga ain't say one word tonight. But you bringing up Paul. You keep getting off subject and you don't realize that's what you're doing. You
because that's how I met you.
You keep deflecting, fam. I met you way before this podcast shit, fam. I met you way before the podcast shit.
Hey, Tupac.
Hey,
Tupac, this is the thing. We didn't get to hear
how
gangs. Listen, Tupac, we didn't get to hear how gangs affect New York. We didn't get to hear how gangs affected Northern California. We got a brother from Northern California. We got a brother from LA here, and we got a brother from New York. But all we was doing was addressing your bullshit for the last hour and a half. Like these individuals didn't get. Wait a minute. There you go again. Hold up. You didn't allow these individuals to tap in on what, because I don't know nothing about New York. I want to know how the gangs affected New York. I know a little bit about Northern California, but I ain't never lived out there. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to hear that from him, you know, hands on who lived there, who lived that life, homie, who was out there. But you talking about your bullshit.
I just told you about New York when I went through Jamaica, Queens.
We talking about Larry. But he talking about giving everybody else on the panel. He talking about giving everybody else on the panel a chance to talk. Larry is from New York. That's who he's referring to. Larry didn't really get to talk about it.
Yo, check this. You guys are not going to act like I can control. You guys not going to act like I can control. Hold on. See, we can't even get a word out right now. That's what he's talking about.
What are you doing? You're doing it now.
Right now.
Okay, so of all the shows, why was I able to control 4 niggas on the panel tonight?
Because you keep.
Because your mouth.
Did I use tonight?
Your mouth. You overtalk everybody.
Done.
All right, watch this. This how we do it.
If
he
don't mute your ass, if he don't mute your ass,
there you go. It's muted. Now listen.
Now I just want to hear. Now I really want to hear how gangs affected New York. I want to hear how gangs affected Northern California if we still got some time.
Hey, we're going to have to make it quicker. We at 1 hour and 45 minutes now. We got 3 niggas, so we all going to get 3 minutes apiece now.
Man.
I bet. So here's my 3 minutes. Here's what I'm going to do to it. I wanted to piggyback off of what Snap said because he touched on some shit that I was going to say. And it kind of like, it goes back to what I said before on previous shows. The respect, how you were talking about like there's no respect anymore. You know what it is, fam? It's like we say like we already the family structure, right? Especially in the Black community, the family structure isn't what it is because we buried the ones that used to hold the family together and shit. Like our grandmas and our moms and our and the big mamas. Like we all had that shit, man. Like you know what I'm saying? So that's no longer a thing. So getting back to topic, right? I say that to say this, fam. Either there's no respect for OGs or matter of fact, there's no more OGs. I grew up where we had OGs and it was like, look here, little nigga. And they made sure we walk, you know what I'm saying? They pulled our collar when it was necessary. There's nobody. It's like you said, these young niggas are way different than when we was young. We had structure. There was structure. We had OGs. These new young niggas ain't got no OGs. And that's why I think that shit has only gotten worse because there's way more gangs now. In New York, I'm sure the same thing on the West Coast. There's way more gangs in each city. There's gangs that exist in cities that there were never gangs at. So it's only getting worse. So as far as like the future moving forward, it's just not looking good for the Black community, bro, because it's only gotten worse, man. And like I said, the people that used to hold shit together, whether it was in a family structure, whether it was in the household, the mom and dad being in the house, or the OGs, all of that shit's gone. And that's just what it is. And that's my 3 minutes, whether that shit was 3 minutes or not, my nigga. That's all I want to say for the last hour.
All right. Sacramento, what you want to do, Roller? You want to talk Sac or the Bay?
415.
I'm about to talk
415.
California, man.
You
so
doing 510?
I'm gonna go Oakland, California, where I'm from. So look, when I grew up in the town, it was no game. It was turf. So we was claiming turf. My turf was Brockhurst, which other turfs was Lower Bottoms. Other turfs was Acorn, other turfs was 18, so forth. So nowadays, niggas is gangbanging. So once it was just Case. Now it's called, you feel me? It's called Baby Case now. So now they are like, you feel me? So they get down just like similar to LA now. They word how they say shit. Sometimes they say, a lot of them say dead homies now, but they have no flags though. So the shit is very different in Oakland, California. How I grew up, man. I grew up with OGs. You feel me? Niggas is mobbing, doing our turf shit. Now it done switched up. Now people is really just like gang banging in Oakland, California. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So it's really fucking up the community. Yeah, facts. It is. Divide and conquer, man. You know?
Yeah. So Sacramento, they'd probably be the closest things to LA as far as Crip and Bloods, how much they skipped over. We do have the Bloods and Crips out there. My opinion is I think it kind of died down, kind of what Cornell said, that shit, it got watered down. Even when I go back out there, they don't see the same. Like, for instance, you got a lot of Crips in the north, you got the Bloods in the south, you got them Stars.
Yeah.
They Crips and Bloods in the same set.
Yes, they are.
Crips and Bloods in the same set.
I was in county with some of them, so yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I seen it.
You know what I mean? But we can't. We'll go to Sacramento. Can't have no function. How destroyed the community is. There's so much gang banging going on. Sacramento's type of city that if something come to town, everybody in the city go to. If the comedy show in town, everybody go there. If they got a summer jam at the park, remember on the river, Rolly, everybody in the city go there.
Yeah.
So you gonna run into people and then niggas get to shooting up shit. You can't never do nothing. If it's all black people there, don't go. Something will happen. I promise you. Do not go. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Sac,
can't go to the club.
Everybody need to get it together, man.
How long the club lasts? 3 months till it gets shut down? If it make it 3 months?
Yeah. Sac no.
One time you get a feel for like, oh, it's cool over there. And you go back, it's gone next week.
You can't even perform in Sac no more.
But Sac, so the Bay wouldn't do shows, let's say rap shows and shit. So people used to come to Sac and then go to Reno. You can't even go and do a show in Sacramento now because niggas don't know how to act. So now everybody from the Bay and Sacramento got to go to places like Reno in order to book concerts now and do the shit up there. Or it's gonna get shut down and niggas gonna act up again. You know what I mean? So that's where we at as far as community in the Bay. But that's my 3 minutes.
Hey, real quick, son. May I suggest, son? I think we should revisit this topic because we didn't really cover it the way we could have. And I think that, you know what I'm saying, I still got a lot of shit to say, I'm sure. You know, Rolly got a lot of shit to say. I would love to have Snaps back on here. He's definitely a special guest tonight because I ain't never been on the panel with son. You know, and I like hearing about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when we be at the cave, me being where I'm from, I ask a lot of questions because I'm not familiar with Cali politics and shit. I could talk to you all day about New York shit, but I ask a lot of questions because I'm intrigued by that shit. And being that we actually created a platform where we was actually able to discuss it, we didn't really get to it. So I would like to, I mean, if it's okay with you, man, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think we should try to revisit this.
Yeah, let's revisit it. I want to comment to Cali right here, Pacific Cali, because she live in Sacramento. Okay. Rolly, you lived in Sac too, so you can test it. She said they still have concerts and shows. They do still have concerts. They can't get rid of it 100%, but it's not like how it used to be. Like, remember, we used to have shows in old Sacramento, downtown, all that kind of stuff. When they have concerts, it's certain artists come. It's going to be big ass artists, or it's going to be, of course, they can't get rid of like your E40s and people like that on that level. But the tier that's right below that, they not having none of that. You know what I mean? Because of the gang banging. And certain artists that portraying gang banging, they don't have them in Sacramento. That's why they got to go to Reno. You know, and I'm speaking because, as Rolly know, I done a whole shitload of concerts. I can tell you how many the venues in Sacramento told me, no, you can't do this shit here. Take it somewhere else. So I'm not just running my mouth. I'm speaking off experience and telling you. They would tell us, no, we can't do it. And the police would even tell us we can't do it. And if I was to put it on, they're going to shut my shit down. It's the way it go. You could go pull up the news. The last concert y'all had in Sac, I believe, at the river. At the river, they do all the time, the summer jams. Everybody running out the park, man, because it was shootings up in there. You can't do nothing out there. So that's where it's at.
I mean, look at Vegas. How many black clubs we got out here? How many black places?
We don't even got none in Vegas. Can't do it here because of the gang of shit.
They didn't got shot up. Every one of them didn't got shot up, you know. But reflection, I just want to just let you know, listen, man, I respect your passion, but sometimes just hear people out and understand the different dynamic in different areas and different ethnic groups and color and whatnot. Like the shit is different, homie. The politics is different everywhere, homie. It's not the same. So you can't put everything up under one umbrella because everybody's shit is different, man. But the outcome is the same. The outcome is the same. It's affecting the neighborhoods. But you gotta allow everybody to basically give their input on where they were raised and the shit that they was raised around and how shit was taking place and how shit is taking place now.
Hey, Steph, real quick. Steph said, yo, Legend, why you went join the gangs? In a nutshell, I just want to address that shit right fast. I was in junior high school, still fucking preteen, basically. I was young and impressionable. That's why I joined the gangs. You know what I'm saying? Some older guards came up to me. They said, yo, we see something in you. Would you like to join? I said, fuck yeah, fuck it. I already knew them anyway. I already knew who they was on the streets. They asked if I wanted to be part of that shit. And again, me being young and easily impressionable, you know what I'm saying? Me being in junior high school, I joined that shit. So that's how I started out. And then from there, it went on, man. And that's how I joined the gang, Steph. If you still watching, man, just to, answer that question.
Well,
I encourage motherfuckers to interact, and we couldn't even interact with motherfuckers tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? So
I think we'll probably have to run it back, man, on a part 2 on it, man, and get more into like how it is affecting the community, and also get into what's the solution on are we too far gone, and how can we bring it back, and how can we fix it? But I do want to say shout out, man, to all y'all for even coming on, man. Reflection, Legend, Rolly, you know what I mean? Snaps. We'll try to have some more on talk about the subject too, man. But I do appreciate y'all for being on tonight, and just give me y'all experiences where y'all from, man. So thank y'all for standing on what y'all talking about, man. We'll run it back and do it again.
Always, man. Salute everybody, man. Y'all have a good night. Always stay dangerous, baby.
Yes, sir.